Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosie and Corina, psych investigator.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys. So we've been chatting. Quinn and I have been talking for a while, and I think we arrived at a point where where there's this natural conversation. So,
Hmm.
so let's do the protection. I'd like to ask for protection, a bit of your light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources that equate the good and only the good. And so it is. Okay. So Corinne and I were talking a lot and we came into this image. I was trying to explain to her this feeling of like when after the rain there's all this mud on top of a mountain. And Corinne said, oh, the mudslide. And that's what it feels like is happening
Hmm.
behind the scenes. And I asked also Spirit, as Quinn and I were talking, about what people are feeling, the anxieties, and like some people are despondent, right? It's like, why do we have
Hmm.
to wait so long and all that? And they said you can always share what you share, like what you see. And this is what we're seeing energetically. It doesn't always correspond to what we see, right? So
Right.
so this feeling is like very much like just think of like us and the mudslide, like you can't stop it. And I think Trump and all those people are feeling this thing that they can't stop coming
Right.
towards them. And it's interesting that it's mudslide. It's in other words like an abstract force. it's not
Hmm.
it's not like, I don't know, people or the courts or whatever. It's just this feeling that they just gonna be wow. And I see that it's a beautiful image. Trump being like all this mud thrown on, like falling on his face, all this mud coming in his direction. And like
Right.
it's like it's like all he has is mud around him.
Hmm.
So
Just think.
so is that
Oh,
his dirt? So okay, because the idea of mud, is it dirt? Is it so no, it's saying it's not, it's just mud. That he's muddy and that he is, that's where it's like, okay, it's saying pigs are in the mud.
yeah.
They okay, and I feel bad for pigs. I don't mean to like denigrate pigs, but like no, I'm serious. Like, but pigs can be apparently like really sweet creatures, really.
Yes, they are. They are.
So but why it's saying that he is the mud. Oh, and
Yeah.
it's saying before he was able to like push it out, to come from the mud, clean himself out, push all the stuff out into people, and we would get the mud from him. And now the mud is hitting everything, is hitting him.
Yeah.
The
I can't
mud.
can't stop it.
That's right. So,
Wow.
and if tell it, so Gwen, if you have, keep sharing, if you have information also, because we're
Yes.
going to keep looking
No. Go.
here.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
That's right. They can't push. It's saying that it's the energy, it's how it's like gravity. There's
Hmm.
only, you cannot escape gravity, and
No.
what goes up must come down,
Right.
essentially. And he's
That's
not
it.
God, he's pretending to be God, right? And as
Hmm.
things come out, he thought he could just get rid of everything and everyone that tells truths. He can't.
Yeah.
So,
He's always been able to before,
mhm,
but going back to what I was saying earlier with that shift that happened, you
mhm,
can't hide the truth. That sheet, that veil, that
mhm.
truth that he was always hiding from everybody. It's it's so egregiously in our face, and people aren't. He can't cover it up anymore. People aren't buying it. They're not listening. It's so disgusting. His behavior, what he's doing. So it's that mudslide's coming. They can't cover it up. And then that panic feeling is taking hold of them.
So it's showing me also the famous Oscar Wilde book. I always forget, like Dorian Gray, the picture of Dorian Gray. So Dorian Gray is a very charming, wonderful man, had a painting in the attic
Right.
that was monstrous, right? And then that was so what sustained a facade. And then eventually at the end, he looks at the painting and the painting looks so beautiful, which means that he becomes the monster. The faces becomes the monster that he saw in the painting. Things flip. That's kind of like
Yeah.
it's saying that this mud, it could be like almost like a sewage of all the dirty things he has done in his life, almost like a soup. It's like this big bucket of sewage of all the dirt, of stealing, the racism that
Yes.
has exploited, how he has used compromise against people. And it's all if it becomes this brown matter, same brown
Mhm.
fecal matter. And that before he was able to just put it out, hide it. And
Went
then
through it.
suddenly comes from the mountain and
Yeah.
flies
Yeah.
onto his face. So wow, very interesting, Corina, right? Very
Yeah.
interesting. And that
Honestly, that's what we all need to see.
mhm,
I was saying that myself this weekend and, having a little chat myself with Spirit, going, okay, Spirit, you know what? We are all at the point where we need to see some justice. We need to see some accountability here. You know, I myself, like, okay, I know it's coming. I can feel it coming. But can you make it a little faster? We're all going through this a little harsh here.
mhm,
But you know what? It's that accountability that is coming. For
mhm,
once in his life, he's going to be hit hard with it. And I truly believe when I said that, I had a little vision of Maya Angelou always comes in and Ruth comes in telling me, just be patient. It's coming. It's coming. So honestly, I still see it coming. I know it's been challenging lately, but it is still coming. Things have shifted and changed with Pope Francis's funeral. I really believe that. I think that he not like I told Rosie, not only did he take a lot of JD Vance's power, he took a lot of people's power with him. That
mhm,
that hold that they had is not there anymore.
mhm,
And
mhm.
they're it's like I get that. I feel like my hands are on, the bars at school that we'd always have to try and hang on to. And they're metal steel, so your hands are always slippery and you're trying to climb across them and your hands are slipping off. That's what the image I get with them having hold on power. It's the grip is very slippery. The grip is very slippery.
Wow. Yeah, no, no, no. That's right. It's saying that nature, it's like all the elements follow their own natural shape, something like that. That's what I'm getting. That in the sense that like you can't escape the natural. Like
This is
before, you used to be able to pretend, not anymore. They're saying, okay, so what
no.
is that's right. So it's saying also the whole Ukraine war and the fact that he is wishy-washy publicly about but in truth, we know what he stands and he's being pushed and pushed. And I see him say, you know what, so what? This is what I care. I care about him about more. It's better. You know how from time to time he does say that, but this time he's gonna have this
Yeah.
outburst. And like, so I have a question, Spirit. Is America going to know formally that he's a Russian agent? Because that's come on, this is the thing that it's so obvious, right? Everything like, so are we gonna get to the point where it's announced that he is legit? Like, are we gonna get to that point? Because that's the thing that I find so most one of the most infuriating things other than the corruption.
Yeah. I get a yes. Yeah.
Wow, you know what I see? Actually, Putin as he does that because he has to
Yeah.
both appease Putin, try to get what Putin wants, but it's not enough for Putin. So then he shows. I think he will eventually. I've said this on and off over the
Yeah,
years
you have. You have.
that he's going to be like, you know what? This is what I have on him. He's always worked for me. This is the
Yeah.
letter. This is the thing, and I think that's it. This
Yeah.
is just so you know. I think in the end, he exposes.
He does. He exposes it because not one. What I get is not one's going down without the other. they go down. They all take each other down as they go down. And
Mhm.
that's what we're approaching.
That's
There
right.
is no man left standing because there is no loyalty amongst thieves. And they're all going to be pointing the finger at each other, blaming each other. He did it. He did it. He did this. So they're all going to go down.
Wow.
All that is meant to come out. And when I was kind of asking that myself over the weekend, or it's not the weekend, I'm sorry. I'm a little tired today, can you tell? It was the exposure of everything. This time around, it's like they showed me the difference of the exposure. When we get to the point where it does all come out, people see it in a different light. Things they'd never seen before, they see it clearly now. And it was right there in front of them before, but they didn't see it. It's kind of like this whole thing with this El Chapo thing. If somebody could make a meme or get it out there that to his people, to the MAGA people, yay, Donnie's opening back up the borders. He's letting them all come in now. They need to see what the hell he's doing. But I believe now when it does come out, people will see that in a different light. Where before it was like, we don't care. Let him do what he wants. We're reaching a point where no, we don't want him doing what he wants. We need to see all this.
Oh,
So for me,
and
it's
so Brenda,
got
I
to
just
come
to
out.
tell you, related to this. So I post things sometimes in this, like this part of Reddit that is like where these like tech bros hang out. Long story. And
Yeah,
so it's like this podcast of the tech bros. And I posted this thing of El Chapo, and of course I think it's pro Russia, whatever I can't say. Well, but you know what? It's a deal. You know how, for example, when criminals go to jail, they think about a deal with the government and they can help out their family members. And I was like,
really,
I've read enough of those and I've watched enough documentaries. Yes, they can bring out their wife and the children. That's it.
right,
No uncles,
right,
no nobody had the guy's 35 years old. He does not have 17 children or like 16
right.
children, because that's how many people. I said, no, it's not. And he's like, no, but there was, and he's like, and I said, "Oh, show me the link." And then he showed me
Yeah,
all these articles saying, oh, they from the New York Times saying exactly what it's saying, oh, they have a deal. And I was like, exactly, what kind of deal is
it
it?
was exactly, and it
So,
doesn't even matter.
and that's
He's
exactly that. I was
dealing.
like, yeah, and I was like, you know what? Don't you think it's strange? The guy, his whole platform is about how bad seriously, he's racist, he's
Yeah,
anti-Latino.
yeah,
He's like, oh, Mexicans are terrible, Mexican rapists, every Mexican is whatever, right?
yeah.
And
And
yeah,
he's
and
letting
here,
them.
yeah, and like, no, so
Yeah,
he's letting them in, he's making a deal with them, a deal that is so good. I've never heard of any mobster getting that kind of thing.
right.
Or like I said, I even said to the guy, what about spies? When spies flip, they don't bring their aunt, their grandmother, their kid, whatever. No, it's not how it is.
No,
So then I blocked the guy because I knew, and it's like this is their argument to minimize. Oh no, it's nothing. But if you really cared about the guy, like how I care about the company that I intervene, whatever,
yeah,
I care. Like I want to know what's wrong. Like you can't just pretend like something. If you care about
and
that, the platform
exactly.
or MAGA, whatever you call it, you have to be like, wait, I thought you were serious about the whole Mexican thing or oh no. So you don't like you're a lot about the border and you let the people. This is the thing. If I think fentanyl is really horrific.
It's
I
a
think there should. I
serious.
mean, it's really because people like I've watched all these documentaries online. By the way, of all these, a lot of them sometimes they never touched a drug in their lives. They went to take one time because the quantity of it is so deadly
Right,
that you put
right.
it one time, you die literally. So they're killing.
Exactly.
It's true. The fentanyl
It
is
is
a
true.
horrible thing. So
Yeah,
anybody who's dealing that, I agree that should be definitely, it should be serious, taken seriously. Yet, so Sinaloa cartel apparently, and I believe it, they're producing it somehow. So you're
yes.
letting the people that this is their entire platform, the fentanyl people, you letting that like have a cutting a deal with them? Are you kidding me? Are you
I
effing
know.
kidding me?
I
So
know.
Oh,
that's just so insane to me that first of all he's negotiating with crime families,
that's right. That's
and for
right.
what?
Exactly. Exactly.
Where's this money going to go? It's not going to
Exactly.
go to our government
Exactly.
programs.
Exactly. Exactly.
We're not getting
So,
it.
right.
Who's it
Mm-mm.
going to?
That's right.
And why? You're the one that wanted the border. Joe Biden, the border. Remember all those commercials he would show that weren't even our own country, and there's just like people running on the streets and coming over the borders and drove. No, no, that wasn't even real. But you're actually doing what you said Joe Biden was doing and everybody else. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, they should film those. They should have gotten film of those people coming over the border and made a freaking big deal over it, over and over and over in the MAGA's faces that this is what you guys didn't want. And now he just opened them up, let them all come in with their suitcases and welcomed them. What are they going to do in our country? Why do they need
Right.
to come here?
Exactly. Exactly. So, okay.
They
So
weren't
then,
running from the cartel. They are the cartel.
that's right.
What the hell did you need to let them in our country for?
Wow.
I
That's
want to
right.
know the answer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to
So,
badger the hell out of you until I get that answer.
okay.
Because
That's
there
right.
is no legitimate one.
So, okay. And then it tells me something else about the airplane. So, by the way, you know how Trump is whole story of the airplane. So the more and more comes out that the airplane is a hand-me-down. There was a Chris Hayes show. It showed that he was talking about how showing how these articles that came out years ago, like, oh, look at the cutter, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of it. Nobody wants to buy this. Have been desperately trying to sell this airplane. Nobody wants it. And then they're like, and the article even said, I wonder who they're gonna gift it to. And who do they give it to? To Donald.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that even that is like it's like unreal. The guys get a hand me down from these people are billionaires. Think about it. If it's like the most important man in the world, why would you give an old plane? You give a new plane, especially if you're so rich, right?
You're right. Right.
So it's like even and I sort of wanted to say
Such a joke.
about the airplane. So what I got, I know that there's some people channels that say that I don't think he's ever going to escape for obvious reasons, for the logistical reasons, for the fact that those countries will have to be sanctioned. I don't see that happening. But what I see is that he needs in his mind an airplane because, like all con men, they want to be able to escape. It's
Right.
part of their psychology. Like they keep going. So I read or watched someone say something. It was like one of the news channels said something like, "Con man is not that he doesn't leave when people discover the con. He only leaves when he runs out of people to con." So
Ooh,
that it
that's
was like, it's true, right? Because
right.
those people they could, how says everything with a straight face. No, nothing wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't you take an airplane? You want to take an airplane? It's a free airplane. It's a free thing. You take it, you get it. And so this is right.
Yeah.
He keeps saying whatever BS, but what happens? He has to go when nobody else believes him.
Yeah.
And so, is that right? So, okay, so let's ask. So is he running? Yes, yes. He's going to run out of people. I'm not saying no, because a lot of times people do these questions like, what about his base? Like, there's people who are fools. They will be fools forever. They were born
Right.
fools. They're
Exactly.
fools
There's always,
until the
yeah.
end. But
Right.
it's like the ability of
He's losing people to con, is what it is. He's
that's right.
losing the ability to con people.
And I see when the truth comes out, I do see, wow, when I see the image of Putin, like, and then Trump as a roach, like in the face is like a little roach, but the face of Trump, and then Putin steps like crack.
Yeah.
When you kill a roach with your feet, sometimes you crunchy.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
He crunches the orange roach. So,
Yeah. Because Putin's going to bring him down. You know that. He's not
mm,
going to bring him
mm,
down. Donnie
wow,
is not going to escape with his dignity. I really don't think so. I just don't
wow,
think he's going to escape with his dignity. Not that he
wow,
should have any, but for him, I think Putin's going to humiliate him on the way out. Because,
wow.
see, Putin is a master at that psychological warfare.
Mm,
And he how do you think he's been able to control Trump all these years? He knows exactly what buttons to push. He knows exactly what to offer him. He knows what he falls for every time. So when you tell me when it's time for things to go down, Putin's not going to push all those buttons. Of
Mm,
course he is. And
wow.
even with this airplane, to me, it is such a joke. I hate to say it that way, but I still see them laughing their butts off behind his back because, first of all, it is an old plane. And they say, oh, it's got to be checked for wires and all. You really think he's going to let that happen? He doesn't care. That thing is going to be so wired up, it's not even funny. It looks like the inside of a situation room.
Mm,
And you know what? Also, I saw too at the very beginning with that. I remember one time I saw like a game controller, like an
mhm,
Atari or, you know, no matter whose plane it is, I think there's a button that's an ultimate control of the Saudis.
mm,
They have the game controller on that airplane.
mm, mm,
So I'm just going to let people's imaginations take over there.
mm,
You could push one button and
mm,
do what you want with an airplane.
mm.
So I think he has to watch his back.
Mhm, mhm. Wow, wow, that's right. That's right. So let's see. Anything else? So, oh, and also there was an article a few days ago in a German website or something like that about Don Jr. and how he formed a new investment company and is suddenly investing in all these companies that are getting government contracts. And Trump,
Sure.
but the thing that was a telltale sign is how Trump is reacting. He's attacking this like it's called Business Insider or something like that. And it's like this huge thing. And what's also interesting is that the woman who wrote the article, she is the person who took down Enron. She was the first big article. Her name is Bethany McLean. So I thought it was
Wow.
ironic. I thought it was interesting that this person, it's not like a random writer, but
Right.
it's like,
Exactly.
and I see that they're like the fact that it's saying what Trump is doing is that he's a grifter. He's stealing as much as he can in the
Yeah.
family, and like in the end he'll either he gets a cut of all the deals that Don Jr. gets, but or it's like
Yeah.
they're
Everything's a
gaining
transaction.
commissions. Like just the mob, it was like that, right? They would always
Yeah.
get a cut of something.
Yeah. You don't
The
do anything
same.
without getting a cut.
That's right. So this he's just, and I see that they're like, no, 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 no. Oh, it's like this is where his energy is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He's so busy grifting. You know, Obviously, what was the deal with El Chapo? Come on. That's not for our country. That's a grift.
Mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm,
personal grift. And that's the only other thing. Because obviously he didn't give a shit about the
mm,
country. He's trying to
mm.
destroy it.
Quinn,
So every
hi guys, I had to stop the recording because the cables that connect all the lights in the computer, they disconnected. So that was an emergency, but we're back here and Quinn is talking about Don Jr. Go ahead, Quinn. Sorry.
I'm just how
Mm-hmm,
gross and disgusting he is. But you
mm-hmm,
know, they're always gonna go after the people that are telling you the truth of what they're doing because
mm-hmm,
that's all it is. It's another way of grifting. God,
mm-hmm,
I hate to say this, but that poor Don Jr. Now, I'm not making excuses for him. He's a grown adult. He has a brain. He can make his own decisions. But he has been so sucked in by that father. It's so sickening. That man's going to jail for his dad.
mm-hmm,
I just so egregious. That's all it is. It's companies to launder more money.
mm-hmm,
They never do anything that's legitimate. They never have.
mm,
I mean, try to find one thing Trump's done that's legitimate that he wasn't forced to do.
mm-hmm.
Can't really. Can't find too many of them, if any. All
Corina,
gross.
Corina, I was just thinking. do we still, I know people, again, the timeline, I think we can never predict really. We don't know how.
No.
But like, do we still see the, okay, say the whole, it's saying that because it's showing me again the pressure eventually, yes, he's going to have to go to the military and ask for to help Russia. And it's saying that we're seeing that, Putin first like, we're going to have a peace, meeting in Turkey, but he never showed up. Russia is not cooperating. So they're
Yeah, I don't think
delaying.
Russia's in the mood to
Yeah,
cooperate.
no, of course they're not, but it's saying they're delaying it. So that's what's going to come down to. There'll be more and more pressure until he doesn't do what they want. And
Yeah.
and they will, and he goes to the military. That's the last resort.
Mm-hmm.
And and I see it's interesting. I even see JD Vance. No, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. He doesn't talk like that, but something like that. He's just no. I understand. Europe is our enemy. You know how he has this whole thing,
Yeah.
and like, and then I see after he goes, then I see it's funny the face of JD Vance realizing what just happened. And oh no, but I didn't. Didn't mean it. That's not what it was. No, no. Um.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to step in now, right?
mm,
Yeah. No, no, you're not. No,
Wow.
you're not. You're coming with us too. Yeah, I still see that same outcome. And I just
hmm
feel like this, what we're experiencing, in our personal lives and our, especially even me and my physical body, is this buildup
hmm
of pressure that's coming.
hmm
So, we've been working on it. It's been a challenge. So we can feel it coming.
Karina,
And
do we
time
still
wise, you can't tell.
do we still see the thing of the airports? Is it still? Let's just checking on it. Because I got all the materials in my house now with the lantern and all that. Gonna
You
use
mean the
it.
3 days? Is that
Yeah,
what you
something.
mean?
Yes, yes. Are we gonna still?
Yeah, I do still see that there's at some point something's got to shut down. That's what
Mm-hmm.
it's telling me. There's going to be some shutdowns.
Okay.
So, you know, whether it's all over the country, certain parts, or maybe some days will last, or some parts will last longer than others. But I do still feel like there's communication systems that have to go down.
Oh, and I got something else as you're saying, and then it connects also not randomly, strangely to the whole bill that's they try to pass the like the is that the whole spending bill that they're having a hard time passing. So
Yeah.
from the beginning, we were talking about how the their energy is kind of collapsing and the chaos. They
Oh,
used to
yeah.
be able to push things through. And I see that like it tells me chaos is power to them. So the more chaos they can create, that's how they feel empowered. And that's their drive. Like, so this is why things are bound to collapse because when they, especially like a wild animal, when they feel threatened, they create
Right.
chaos, they attack.
Mm-hmm.
So so like so so then it shows me that what's happening with this bill is that they're not gonna there's all these factions, and it shows me before their aggression was like almost like a steel cube, like a massive thing they used to push towards us. But
Yeah.
now this they can't push it very far from themselves. So what
Right.
ends up happening is that their own thing ends up being affected. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Exactly. It affects them.
hmm So
It
that's
turns around and affects them.
so it diffuses the power that they used to have, and they
Right.
were kind of like weirded out by it, how they're not able to distract the way they were able to before. Part one. And then part two, going back to this whole thing, why this collapse of some structures is like going to push for it, like the cutting
Yeah.
communication, something, and electricity, all that stuff, because um right, because it's like chaos is power to them.
Right.
And that the more they feel threatened, the more they do something. And it's interesting, randomly, I've been watching all this. This is kind of like my mind, how crazy it is. Like, so I watch a lot of documentaries about bear attacks. And so bears, what happens is people, there are all kinds of attacks, like the stories about them.
Right.
And then when people like get desperate, like, oh my God, no, they don't have the bear spray or something. And there was this guy who saw a bear, was all very calm and all. And so the guy gets scared and throws a shoe at the bear. But
Oh,
what
oh,
happens in
oh.
bears, they're not like a chicken
Yeah.
or a cat or like a dog or something.
No.
They fight. They're like, oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they get angry. Like if they're
Yeah.
peaceful and you provoke them, or you're like, if he senses aggression from you,
Exactly. They're going to protect
he goes,
themselves.
that's right. So this is what he's saying. They have this energy about themselves. This is why they're very aggressive people. They're not peaceful. But what happens is their energy is diffused, their power. It's actually, I'm sorry to compare bears are much more interesting creatures than they are really.
Right.
But it's that mentality of like they always are attacking. They're always attacking because they want us to be scared.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
same,
kind of,
yeah, go ahead.
they showed me an image of Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's kind of like her. She's just this, this yappy dog that never shuts up. That's what they showed me. It was her yapping, 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 yapping. But there's nobody listening anymore.
Mm,
Everybody's like, oh God, just shut your mouth.
mm,
So they're just losing that power of people listening. Nobody
mhm.
wants to hear it. People are so over all this stuff.
So,
Nobody
wow.
wants to hear it, especially from somebody like her.
And it's
So,
sick.
and they can feel that. They can feel their power slipping.
Mm. Oh, yeah. And I see that they're not able to, it may seem to us like they're trying to push all these things forward. They're really saying, no, they're not succeeding. How to remember that.
They're not.
Yes. Not succeeding. I mean, people are being fired and all that, right? But
Yeah.
ultimately, in the big scheme of things,
Right.
they're realizing that they can't say, and all the chaos and the disagreements they're having with their own bills shows that
Yeah.
there's too many factions fighting each other. So
Yeah.
wow, so that's it for is that so that's it. Spirit, do you have any advice for us for the next few days, the next week? Take a breather, take it slow to be kind to yourself because and I see it shows me this huge ship at sea and massive waves and like it's very chaotic. We're
Mm,
going to arrive at the shore, a new shore, a new
yeah.
era is coming. Soon enough, we're just in the middle of these like very shaky waters.
Yeah. And I saw, I tend to see this stuff with the light, and it's like I saw this whole community that we're in. That's
Mm,
what I'm going to call it because I feel like we are. We were all in a circle holding hands, silent,
mm,
just emitting that light because I feel like this time that we're in is very challenging. It's very volatile. I know I'm feeling it in my body,
mm,
and there's not a lot I can do just other than to let it pass through me. Just observe it and let it pass. And
mm,
I feel like Spirit's wanting me to say, use this time that we're going through these really challenging, everybody's releasing stuff. You may be
mhm,
feeling it in your body. You may have headaches. You may be sick
mhm,
to your stomach. You may be lightheaded.
mm,
All these things can be happening right now to you, your back, your neck, everything.
mhm,
So it's telling me just tell people, just try to sit in the lights,
mhm,
go meditate, do as much as you can in the light, because what you're
mhm,
going to do is amplify that. And right now, we are making a difference that way. And the more you can just sit silent with that and project that out into humanity,
mhm,
you're helping. So not only does it help you, but it helps humanity. So
mhm,
take time, self-care,
mhm,
but sit in that light and spread that light as much as you can
mhm.
because it is making a difference. We
No,
need
very
to
good.
shine that light.
Mhm. Amazing. No,
Yeah.
wonderful, Corina, really. Wow.
Yeah. And that comes through really strongly like, yes, please do that. Do
Mhm,
it, do it, do it.
mhm.
So I think we are going through this intense period because not only am I feeling it, I know people around me, other people I know that are intuitives, we're all feeling this way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just really intense. So the more you can help,
Mm-hmm.
the better it is.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, no, no. It's great. Great, Karina. So that's it. That's it, guys. Right? That's it for today. So thank you for
Yeah.
watching
Thank you for
and
watching,
have a
everybody.
great weekend. Okay? Okay.
Yes. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Prayer and energy time. Let's use this time to send energy to people healing and going through complex health challenges. Their bodies need the energy we send them. Bo, recuperating from intestinal surgery at the Mount Sinai Hospital, battling cancer and winning. I spoke to her today and I felt her mother telling me she will survive and thrive. Cecilia, her sister, visits her daily. Cecilia is herself also battling cancer, and she's also winning. Bella is also undergoing cancer treatment. Let's envision her pain free and 100% cancer free. Treatment. Let's send Bo, Cecilia, and Bella energy. Bo, Cecilia, and Bella are fully healed, full of energy, cancer free, and proud to tell this story of great health and recovery. Okay, so just going to be silent for a bit as I send them energy right now. And I hope you do the same. And also, you can think of others that you know, your loved ones, someone that you feel may be in need of energy, and focus on them. Okay? Okay, so let's start. I'll be silent here for a little bit. Thank you again. Let's create this circle of energy around them. And so it is.